What's up, everybody? How we doing? Welcome back to the channel. Now, listen, if you watch mixed martial arts, which I know you do, then you know what's going on. Conor McGregor, he's never out of anyone's mouth for far too long, simply because he keeps himself out there. He's one of the most exciting fighters in the division. He's an interesting character. He talks a lot of shit. He's got tons of money. He was the double champ, all the rest of it. There's a lot of reasons. And he's got a lot of fans. He's got worldwide fans all over the place. So that means a lot of people are always calling him out. People that are not going to fight Conor McGregor are always calling him out, and it has been happening again this week. We're going to talk about it. There's a lot of people lining up to fight Conor. There always is. Max Holloway, Michael Chandler, and no doubt a slew of others that aren't going to get the quote-unquote red panty night. But listen, before I tell you about it, I'm going to tell you about ipvanish. Okay, when you go online, you want to protect yourself from hackers. You want to protect yourself from people that are going to hack into your social media. They're going to hack into your financial information, your bank accounts, and all the rest of it. In fact, a good friend of mine had his Instagram hacked, and he was being blackmailed for some money to get access to his Instagram back. Also, when you go to certain countries, there's certain websites that you can't access, you know. When you go to Fight Island, when you go to Yas Island, Abu Dhabi, for example, there's certain websites, perhaps they're pornographic, I wouldn't know, but certain websites that you can't access. But with ipvanish, you just log in, you say that you're in America, the computer has no idea, it doesn't know where you are. So whether you want to browse suspicious sites, whether or not you want to protect yourself from hackers, all that good stuff, and protect your financial information, that's the real important one. ipvanish is the way to go. So click the link in the description below, or just go to ipvanish/Bisping and you'll be taken care of. Okay, that's out the way. ipvanish has vanished. Now we're going to talk about it. At the weekend, we saw Max Holloway go out there and yet again prove why is he the best featherweight of all time? Pretty good chance. The reason I'm looking at my phone here, we've got some stats. Max Holloway went out there at the weekend. He's one of only fighters in UFC history to land. No, he's the only fighter, the first and only fighter in UFC history to land 3,000 total strikes at fight's end. Holloway, at the fight end at the weekend, Holloway has landed 3,056 strikes in the UFC. The top five are Max Holloway, 3,056, George St. Pierre, 2,591, Frankie Edgar, 2,479, Nate Diaz, 2,386, John Fitch, 2,185. So there you go. Max Holloway, 3,056. I'm pretty sure number 6 would be me. At one point, I had the most significant strikes. But enough about me. Back to Max Holloway. So anyway, he was sensational at the weekend. He put on a very, very amazing, technically brilliant fight against Yair Rodriguez. And he came away the victor. On the microphone afterwards, he was saying, you know, he was on the shortlist to fight Conor McGregor. Of course, at the press conference, people asked Dana White about it. And Dana White shut that idea down. He said, listen, Conor is injured. And he is. We know what happened. He snapped his tibia or fibia. Tibia? Yeah, tibia or fibia in his leg. One of them. I'm not sure. Maybe he snapped them both. I don't know. You know, the little twiggy bones that he's got. They snapped. So he can't fight for a while. It's going to be a while. But people are still calling him out. And Max Holloway isn't the only one. Michael Chandler is now also at it as well. And listen, I get it. It's goddamn hot in here. Michael Chandler just had that incredible fight. I'm not going to sit here and talk shit about Michael Chandler. That's not what I'm doing. But I'm just saying, you know, he's calling out Conor McGregor because he wants these epic moments in his fight career. The red panty night, the big payday. And Conor McGregor brings a lot of eyeballs. And Michael Chandler and Max Holloway and everyone else, rightly so. You want to be a part of the biggest fights possible. When you retire from your fight career, you want to look back and you want to see on your resume, on your fight record, if you go to Tapology or whatever it is, you want to look at that and be proud of the names that you fought. And of course, nobody gathers or garners as much interest as one Conor McGregor. Simple as that. Nobody does, right? And no one's... You know, if you can strike the right deal with the UFC, if you can get a percentage or something, no one's going to generate more money either. Simple as that. Conor McGregor is the cash cow. He is the red panty night personified. So he wants to fight him. Not because he dislikes him, not because he has beef with him, just because he wants to be a part of these big moments. And I get that, Michael Chandler. Of course you do. Everybody does. But it's not going to happen. Not unless you want to wait for a goddamn year. You know what I mean? Because... He broke his leg. Now Conor's walking about again. I've seen footage of him training, you know. Maybe riding the bike, lifting weights, all that stuff, that's all well and good. But like right now, I can ride a bike, I can go run, all the rest of it, but I don't think I could make it through a full training camp. I mean, I could, but it wouldn't be optimal. And Conor McGregor right now, there's no way he can go through a mixed martial arts training camp. Fighting is a tough sport. The UFC, mixed martial arts, is a tough sport to engage in. And the fights are tough. Like today, I was at the hospital. Right, I had an epidural in my neck today. I'm still in absolute agony right now. I had neck surgery in January. I'm probably going to have 2 more neck surgeries. So I spent a full day in the hospital. It was very, very boring. And that comes from my fight career. But it doesn't come from the fights. It does not come from the fights. I remember when this happened, I went to do a double leg takedown. I didn't. Someone reversed it. I kind of went up in the air and I hit my head on the ground. And I remember it happened. I lay on the floor. It's kind of like I was having an electric shock. My body was shaking like crazy. They call it a stinger in the wrestling trade. But this was a really, really bad one. And that was in 2013. I'm still suffering with that to this day. My knees, and I'm sorry to bang on about it, I've got 2 total knee replacements. But my left knee, which is where the problem started, that was in training. I was training with George St. Pierre, actually at the old UFC offices on Sahara Boulevard, West Sahara Boulevard in Las Vegas. I was training with George St. Pierre in the basement. Dana White and Lorenzo Fertitta had their own private gym. Really gorgeous gym, by the way. Loads of boxing memorabilia. They had a little ring. They had the weights. They had lots of bags. And when I was in town, Dana would very kindly let me train there. So I was in there with George St. Pierre and we were doing some wrestling, and it was a boxing ring, so the mats weren't quite as thick as what they needed to be. And I hurt my knee, tore my posterior cruciate ligament. The point I'm making is it's the training. The fight is almost the easy part. Of course, when you fight like Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje, that's not easy. When you fight like Max Holloway and Yair Rodriguez, there's nothing easy about that. But in terms of getting out of bed and going to the gym 2 or 3 times a day and getting your ass kicked and being pushed to the limit and getting out of bed at 6 or 7 a.m. and going for a run by yourself, doing the sprints that you need to do on a Saturday morning. Generally, if you're a good fighter and you want to be in good condition, you do hill sprints on a Saturday morning. You do circuits, you do sparring, you hit pads, you drive your body into the bloody ground. That's the hard part. The easy part is showing up to the fight. Showing up where there's 20,000 people screaming your name. You get paid a shit ton of money, right? That's the easy part. The hard part is getting out of bed. When I lived in England, not so much in California, driving to the gym in the freezing cold rain in the middle of winter and it's hailstone, and you go in and there's a leak in the roof and it's leaked and there's a puddle on the mat and the puddle is frozen and you're freezing cold and you're trying to warm up just to get going, and you got to warm up for half an hour just for your body to be able to move fluidly. There's no check at the end of it. There's no screaming fans. There's no fight music when you step onto the mat. That's the fucking hard part. That's the part that really takes the toll on the body. So Conor might be hitting pads. He might be doing a little bit of work, but it's a far cry from fucking fighting inside the octagon. So everyone just needs to relax on calling out Conor McGregor. I hope Michael Chandler, I hope you get the fight because you deserve it. Max Holloway, I hope you get the fight because fuck me, you deserve it because you've even got a storyline with him. You know, he beat you, but let's be honest, you know, you were one of the only guys, I think, at featherweight not to get knocked out. You gave him a good run. He had to take you down in the 3rd round. That's when Conor tore his ACL, if I'm not mistaken as well. It was a good fight. And Max Holloway was just a baby back then. He was a very, very young guy. Certainly since that first fight to now, he's grown in stature, in ability, in confidence, in recognition. Conor McGregor, you could argue, was in his prime back then. And has he gone on the slide? You know, he's losing fights right now. Granted, in Conor's defense, he's fighting the best of the best. Dustin Poirier is incredible. Khabib Nurmagomedov, as we know, is the GOAT. He's only fighting the best people, you know. But Max Holloway, Conor McGregor, that's a fight I'd love to see. Michael Chandler, Conor McGregor, that's a fight I'd like to see. In fact, I think Conor McGregor wants to fight Max Holloway, judging by the Instagram post on Saturday night. You see that one? As they were introducing Max, Conor's walking up and down, you know, shirt off in front of the TV, snarling away. I don't know if he was snarling at Max Holloway or snarling away at some cartoon character from what I saw from some of the memes. You motherfuckers out there, you're funny. You're funny. There's a lot of memes going around of Conor walking up and down in the hotel room. But either way, Conor McGregor will not be fighting anytime soon. However, I did think there was a little sneaky one, but Dana's thrown that out the window at the press conference because Conor said, Max said, I'm the best boxer in the UFC. I think Conor had a problem with that. And then Max started talking about that he was on a short list to fight Conor McGregor, right? And then Max said, I can't say anything. I can't say anything too much. And then my imagination ran wild. I'm like, oh my God, UFC are going to do a boxing match between Max Holloway and Conor McGregor. Because think about it. Training for a boxing fight's a lot easier. There's no kicks. There's no wrestling. There's no grappling of any kind. It's just pure hands. You know what I mean? So if you've got a broken leg, that's a lot quicker to come back from. So I thought, oh my God, that's actually really interesting. He says he's the best boxer. Conor thinks he's one of the best boxers. Conor says he's beaten 3 of the top 5 best supposed boxers inside the UFC. By the way, Dustin Poirier was on that list who outboxed Conor McGregor in the last 2 fights. You can't argue with that. And Dustin Poirier says that Petr Yan is the best boxer in the UFC. So this is a big debate that I don't know the answer to. But either way, stop lowering yourself to calling out Conor McGregor. Yes, he's a great fighter. He's the biggest name by far in the sport. But you ain't going to get it just yet. And you look a little bit desperate. In the meantime, by the way, that's not an offence to Max Holloway or Michael Chandler or anyone else that's doing it. Go for it. Shoot your shot. Roll the dice. Make the money. Have fun. Subscribe. Ring the bell. All that good stuff. Take care. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you.